He sat in the gray cell, chains biting. At his wrists, the ticking clock on the far wall mocking every shallow breath. Tomorrow at sunrise, the world would end for him. Yet when asked his final wish, he didn't ask for a meal or freedom or mercy. He asked for his dog, the only soul who had never abandoned him, even when the world did. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The gods exchanged doubtful looks, but word spread quickly, traveling through the stone corridors like a whisper caught in the wind. Some called it ridiculous. Others said it was cruel to deny him. By evening, the request had reached the warden's desk, and for the first time in years, the hardened man leaned back in his chair, uncertain. Could a condemned man truly find redemption in the eyes of a dog? Night dragged on, thick with silence. He thought of the animal who used to run beside him through fields, who licked his wounds when life struck too hard, who sat patiently when the house fell into ruin. He thought he would never see her again. He was wrong that at dawn, the heavy doors creaked open. The corridor was lined with guards, their expressions unreadable, their boots echoing against the cold floor. And then through the narrow opening came the sound. Soft paws against concrete. The dog burst forward, tail thrashing like a storm, eyes wide, with a love that had never dimmed. She leapt into him, chains rattling, and for the first time in years, he cried, not for himself, for her. The room grew still. Hardened men who had watched countless farewells turned away, blinking fast. No one spoke. No one dared to. But in that silence, something shifted. Because what happened next, no one had expected. The dog refused to leave him, even when God tried to pull her away. She growled, pressed harder into him, trembling as if she understood. It was more than loyalty. It was defiance, a living, breathing protest against the cold finality of justice. And the warden, standing at the back, felt his heart tighten. He had spent a lifetime watching men break. But here he saw something unbreakable. Love that refused to bow to the sentence of death. It forced him into a moral storm. Was it justice to end a life so fiercely, claimed by another, or cruelty disguised as law? Minutes stretched, orders barked. Softly, but still the dog held on. Finally, with a voice that cracked through the tension, the warden made his decision. Let them have more time. The execution was delayed. The man and his dog were led into a small yard. Chains loosened, sun breaking through gray clouds. She ran in circles around him as if reclaiming lost years. And he laughed, a raw, broken sound that turned every watching heart inside out. For a single morning, condemned walls fell away. There was no prisoner, no crime, no punishment. There was only a man and his dog, bound by something deeper than rules could govern by noon. Word had spread outside the prison. A crowd gathered at the gates, whispers rising into chants, not for vengeance, but for mercy. And in that swell of voices, the system bent. The governor signed a stay of execution. Not a pardon, not absolution, but a chance. A chance, carved not by law, but by loyalty. The man collapsed to his knees, burying his face in the dog's fur. Around him, silence broke into applause. Not for him, but for the love that had reminded them all of something they had forgotten. Because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits and it finds its way back. And in that prison yard where a final goodbye was meant to be spoken, life offered a different ending. One born from paws against stone, and a heart that refused to let go. To if this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more, stories that remind us of the power of love, loyalty, and second chances, make sure to subscribe because here, every story carries a heartbeat